This is Lorenzo, and this is the Training Map Taxonomy video series, lesson number 5, and it's all about the hips, baby. Okay, so we finally made it to the matrix. So if you look to the left, we can see we've got our dimensional scale here, which we're focusing right now on the hips in the sagittal plane, which is focused on the quads and the glutes. On the far right, we're going to explore the various benchmarks that we should aim at achieving to unlock all the benefits associated with this dimension. You should know there are 30 performance benchmarks that we will explore in the series. 7 are directly associated with this dimension. Also, and I do go into this more deeply in a separate video, but you should know that all performance measures can be classified in 3 categories, meaning any improvement that you expect from any exercise will go into one of the next 3 categories. Measures of time, measures of position, and measures of load. Did I improve on my time? Did I improve in my body's position? And did I improve in terms of load or the weight? Okay, so let's take a look at the first 2 out of the 7 benchmarks related to this dimension. So in the first category, we have gymnastics. So that is the front split and the pistol squat. In the weightlifting category, we have the back squat. And for Metcon or metabolic conditioning, we have cycling and running. Coming back to the front split, FR stands for full range. And so this is a benchmark of position. You can either yes or you cannot do a front split. Here, I would get a no. I'm not there yet. But this is focusing on hip flexor and hamstring mobility, all in the sagittal plane. Next, we have the pistol squat. Pistol squat is also a benchmark of position. I can either do it or I can't, but I can also measure it in terms of repetitions. If you are male, you should aim for 6. If you're female, you should aim for 3. Now, why these numbers? Again, that's a topic for another video. So make sure you look at the benchmark video in the training design taxonomy video series, which is not in this one. Next, we have the back squat. If you're male, you want to aim for squatting at least 1.5 times your body weight. And for females, it's 1 times your body weight. This is a benchmark of load. Next, and for our 4th benchmark, it's our FTP, which stands for functional threshold power, which can be measured in an hour, or a discounted version is 20 minutes. This means that you are aiming for, as a male, 3 watts per kilogram, or as a female, 2.5, which means that if you weigh 70 kilograms, you times that by 3, you're trying to sustain 210 watts for the entire 20 minutes. Not an easy thing to do. Next, cycling MMP. MMP stands for maximum 1 minute power. It's a 3-minute event, and you're trying to see what's the maximum power you can sustain, or what's your highest power output for a single minute. And as you can see, it's not that much higher than your FTP, 3.5 watts if you're male, and 3 watts if you're female. Now, why did I decide on these specific events? I've got one in over 20 minutes and another as a 3-minute event. Again, watch my benchmark video where I explore and discuss my rationale for these numbers. FTP and MMP are both measures not of position or load, but in this case, it's a benchmark of time. In your FTP test, you're going all out for 20 minutes. In this case, the time is fixed, but you're trying to cover a maximum distance in that time frame. For our 6th benchmark, we have running. We have 2 events, running 3 kilometers. As a male, you want to do 3Ks in under 12 minutes and 30 seconds, or as a female, under 14 minutes. For our last benchmark, we have 200 meter sprints. And as a male, you're aiming to do below 32 seconds, or as a female, below 45 seconds. 3-kilometer run is a test of endurance, whereas 200 meters is one of speed. Both running benchmarks are measures not of position or load, but of time. Each trial, you're trying to improve on your time. And so what they all have in common is the development of locomotive power in the sagittal plane. As you can see here, 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 and here. Recall my theoretical hierarchy of physical development with mobility at the bottom, stability in the middle, and power at the top. If we are to sustainably achieve all 7 of these benchmarks, the best way to do that is for us to spend time on hip and ankle mobility, ankle and knee stability, as well as dynamic hip-knee power. Now, whether we do this, develop mobility, stability, or power within a single routine or in isolation, it will allow us to capitalize on all 7 of these benefits. Think of hip and ankle mobility as rehab or prehab for the knee. It helps us restore our natural range of motion in the hips for more efficient extension forces. Every movement here relies on efficient extension forces. Mastery of dynamic hip-knee power literally makes daily walking and stepping a walk in the park, pun intended. Hip-knee power also transfers to other movements such as hip hinge movements and also lower body movements in the sagittal plane. Look no further than mastering these benchmarks if you want to develop the most beautiful developed quads and glutes without even trying. Finally, integrating hip and ankle mobility, ankle and knee stability, and developing maximum dynamic hip-knee power is the foundation for most sports, specifically lifting, cycling, and sprinting, and my favorite, which I think of as the ultimate expression of locomotive power, the hurdles.